education, all the education systems. They're experimenting with our kids, all the materials that they're trying to teach them to learn from. We are not sure what we want today in culture. How many know the culture today, the church is that way. We really don't know what we want. We are the most dissatisfied, confused bunch of people on the planet. I'm talking about the church. The church is the most confused, dissatisfied, belly aching, complaining, murmuring bunch of sissies. Some of you, I just offended you for life. How do you know we go around and we don't even know what we want? When we don't know what we want, we can never find out what we're supposed to be. We don't know what we want. What do you want? Ask somebody today what they want after lunch or after the preaching to go to lunch. What do you want? Oh, I don't know. There's 15,470 things to choose from. I was hungry, but now I don't even know what I want to eat. How do you know if you had 3 things, you'd get there quicker, wouldn't you? That's why I don't go to those diners. And I don't do like some in this room, go to those all-you-can-eat places. Because I'm already confused. I don't want to be more confused. Look at this. What are the consequences of this unchecked, uncontrolled change? We look at our ecological systems. Man is trying to experiment with types of animal life, food supplies, cloud seeding, for weather patterns to be affected. We stopped all these uses of DDT, other things. We've done this, and I talked about it. We're in this time of uncontrolled changes by experimenting with everything. Let's see if 2 men can live together, and let's see if they can live together with children. Let's try it. All right, try it. You got proof that they don't end up messed up in the head? I got proof that God made a man and a woman. Ain't no accident. You didn't get made with a gay gene. You can buy genes that are gay, but you didn't get a gay gene. Lord Jesus. I'm landing. I'm going to narrow this thing down. You got to stay with me. Here's some political changes. How many of you know collapse of governments are happening everywhere? Some of them are happening intentional. The rise of people power. How many of you know those guys that wear the black stuff, you know, the Antifa? Bunch of low-class losers. Couldn't even get a job, you know, cleaning bathrooms. They're just a bunch of losers. Hello? I envisioned my world before I got saved. Boy, they would be, they'd be sweet to the taking. The rise of people power. There's no power in that. There's no power in taking a young boy and hitting him with bricks inside of a sock. Knock his head open where he gets a concussion and gets bleeding in the brain. Come on. International domestic terrorism. Come on, there's political changes going on. We're birthing these people. Those terrorists went to somebody's school. Somebody taught them. You didn't wake up one morning and go, I think I'm going to be a terrorist today. They watched video. They learned how easy it is to kill somebody sitting in your house playing with a joystick and you don't even feel it. Took his head off. Put the game down, go outside. Reality and make-believe, homogenized, and all of a sudden, you don't know, are you in make-believe or are you in the real thing? Failed states like Venezuela. What a sad, 15 years ago, most successful Caribbean South nation around with oil. Today, third world and below. Global economic crisis everywhere, unemployment, Just technology alone is creating the worldwide unemployment. See, they're talking about unemployment today, but they're not talking about unemployment in 10 years when the computers are doing our jobs. They're not going to take my job. I didn't want you to do that. Anyway, the fall and disgrace of political, civic, corporate, and religious leaders is everywhere. International sabotage. Here's results from these changes. Distrust in leadership. Distrust in leadership and authority. It's in the church. It's in the world. People don't trust anybody. Come on. That's why, saints, we need to come back to the foundation. I don't want you to trust me. I want you to trust God. And if you trust God, you'll learn the God in me is worth trusting. I'm not here to win a popularity contest. I'm here to stir you up, train you, activate you, kick you where you need to be kicked, and move you towards God. Or you can stay in your apathetic, complaining, half-baked place and be of no use. Amen. You'll remember this message. Distrust in foundational institutions like our banks and media. I don't trust them. I ain't putting my money under the mattress, but I don't trust those banks. I don't trust the media. Come on. I don't trust the medical industry. Right. Come on. They tell me I got to have this. I go, why? What's it going to do for me? Liberalism, the PC-ness, lawlessness, everywhere. Cops, 29 cops killed this year already. Worst it's ever been. Permissiveness. Jesus. Compromise. Oh my God, we live in the most compromising. The Christians, they don't stand up for something. I'm going to stand up. I'm not going to buy into this garbage. I'm too old. I'm 70 years old. I'm not buying into this baloney. You better come with a good argument to get me persuaded. Because I was already going to hell. Now I'm not. And you're not going to convince me on a cheap, tinsel little toy that I should trust what you say and deny what he says. Immorality. Oh my God. Re-engineering morality. Teaching children to accept their sexual, what they are. You're going to teach a 6-year-old to accept if they believe they like men. You're a bad parent. You're a bad parent. Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child, and the rod will drive it out of their butt. It's amazing how the nerves are connected to the butt to tell your brain, you are stupid today. I raised up 3 kids. My son owns one of the number one restaurants in Baltimore. Very successful. A musician, plays all over the world. Hello? I know what it is to raise up smart kids, successful kids. My youngest son owns a big construction company. I'm proud of him. But let me tell you something. I instilled principles through their butt to their brain. When their ears were clogged, I found a nervous system that had a direct line. And once I applied a little pressure, I can't believe how smart they got. And some of you liberals, you need a good spanking right now. I'll never forget, my daughter came to me one day and said, Dad, I never thought I'd say this. You're one of the smartest men I ever met. It's funny when you get older in their lives how smart you get. Come on. Oh, Lord, culture of death. Euthanasia, abortion, murder, killings in the streets, school, malls, even in churches. Killing is just easy today. It's hard to live. Oh, got to hear that. It's easy to die. It's easy to die. It's hard to live. Generational disillusionment. That's why my book was written. We can solve this if we recognize what Paul said. Paul said, be not ignorant of Satan's devices. Study your enemy before you attack him. Goliath was defeated because he didn't study David's little slingshot. Read it. He didn't talk to him about his slingshot. David knew that sword, and he knew that spear. And he knew that he didn't like to wear hats. Probably had a lot of hair, and he didn't want to wear it and mess up his hair. That's why the tribe of Issachar that we've dismissed as a little small tribe, they had some sense. They knew the seasons and the times, and they knew what to do in the season. We have a lot of Christians today may know what time it is, but they don't know what to do when it's the time. Amen. You see, you might know it's the time of God to move in your life in some special way, but if you don't know what to do with the time that's come, you'll be frustrated beyond measure. And you'll stand in the place of change, and it'll be uncontrolled change. I watch people, adult Christians who've known the Lord, make changes in their life that are devastating, will cause their families to lose from it, and they are standing in the middle of an uncontrolled change because they don't have a solution. The world cannot solve or heal itself. Come on, how many here? The problems that are going on, the world can't fix it. If it's man's problem with his will, how can man fix what he's broke? That's why we need a Savior. Come on. Einstein said you cannot solve a problem at the same level it was created. A fountain cannot give forth both sweet and bitter water at the same time. If a man created it, the problem, the same man cannot solve it. Thus, the reason God sent someone else to the world to solve it, thus he so loved the world that he sent his son. Doing nothing is not a solution. Whatever you allow, you can never criticize. Whatever you allow in your life, you can't criticize it. You let it in there. Whatever you avoid, you will never change. Jesus. Thus, we must become the answer to our prayer for changes. How many of you hear me today? How many say, I'm starting to get this? We can let things happen, or we can make things happen. Come on. God was saying to Israel when he sent them across the Jordan with Joshua, he said, I'm not going to supply any food for you. You're going to have to grow your own plants. You're going to have to get your own food. He said, I'm not going to send manna any longer to you. How many of you know God is trying to raise up mature adults and not raise up babies? He wants to raise up adults, not babies that need milk. That's why those of you that don't read this book, you'll be sucking on somebody's pacifier all the time. I watch these NFL football players that are giant big boys, and they have pacifiers in their mouths. They call it a mouthpiece. It's nothing but a pacifier. They got pacifiers in their mouth because they're spoiled little brats. You pay me $100 million because I can catch a football. I can discern the intent of the heart of a man and tell them what will change their life forever by pointing the finger of God and prophesying to them what God said, and their life will never be the same. And no football will ever compare to that. Amen. When I spoke to the president of Nigeria, it changed his life. He was in prison, and I prophesied he would come out and become the president. He told me he wrote 3 books because of the word that came from his child to his mother, to his wife, that came to him in jail, that there was hope for him. When he came out of the jail, he would be restored to be the president. And they didn't even know where he was at the time. His name was Obasanjo. And then I ended up in his house, speaking to him, praying over him, prophesying to him. Have you understand that I would rather be able to know the intent of the heart of a man than to have everything the world can offer? Because if it's only out of some, thing that I have to sell my soul to, I don't want it. I gave my life. I don't need to give my soul to the devil. I gave my life to God.
Thank you for watching Rock City Church Online. We pray this video sharpens and encourages you to be all that God has called you to be. You can give online at rockcitychurch.com or on the Rock City Church app. Like and share us on social media at RockCCBaltimore and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next episode or live stream.